had the pleasure of attending the premiere of Hitman, Richard Linklater's latest cinematic venture now available for streaming on Netflix, during an early morning viewing. Known for his adeptness at blending and redefining genre conventions, Linklater once more demonstrates his skill in navigating familiar tropes while carving out distinctive narrative spaces. Co-written by Linklater and Glenn Powell, who also stars in the film alongside his frequent collaborator, this movie effortlessly traverses comedy, romance, suspense, philosophical musings, and a hint of noirish intrigue without ever seeming to exert itself. Beneath its accessible and charming exterior, Hitman reveals itself to be a nuanced and shape-shifting tale, much like its central character. Enter Gary Johnson, played by Powell, a mild-mannered professor of philosophy and psychology with an unexpected aptitude for electronics. Gary's involvement with the New Orleans Police Department, assisting with surveillance equipment, unexpectedly leads him into a peculiar sideline, aiding in a sting operation where an undercover cop poses as a hitman to ensnare potential criminals. When circumstances thrust Gary into the midst of this operation, he discovers an unforeseen talent for assuming alternate identities, particularly that of a counterfeit hitman. Driven by his fascination with human nature, Gary meticulously researches his targets, constructing elaborate personas tailored to each assignment. Rationalizing that contract killers are largely mythical figures, Gary revels in embodying the fictional expectations shaped by decades of cinematic lore, gleefully donning disguises and altering his voice to emulate a spectrum of stereotypical assassins, reminiscent of his uncanny impression of Christian Bale's iconic role in American Psycho. While Hitman draws inspiration from a real-life Gary Johnson, a Houston-based academic who moonlighted as a police-affiliated fake hitman in the 1990s and 2000s, the film takes creative liberties, embellishing his story with a blend of philosophical inquiry into identity fluidity and the intrigue of a light-hearted romantic thriller. Gary's adoption of the suave persona Ron, a cool and confident alter ego, to charm Madison Masters, portrayed by Audrey Arjona, a woman seeking to rid herself of an abusive spouse, complicates matters. As Gary becomes enamored, the question lingers: is his affection directed towards Madison herself, or the persona of Ron, an idealized version of himself unfettered by insecurities? In weaving together these narrative threads, Powell and Linklater craft a compelling yarn around a relatable character archetype, the unassuming individual capable of seamlessly slipping into alternate identities. Hitman deftly explores the porous boundaries of selfhood and the allure of reinvention against a backdrop of moral ambiguity and unexpected romance, making it a captivating addition to Linklater's eclectic filmography. In the first half of Hitman, Richard Linklater's latest cinematic endeavor now streaming on Netflix, the film leisurely strolls through familiar territory in true Linklater style, a narrative that revels in its own meandering pace and existential musings. Gary, portrayed by Glenn Powell, embodies a thoughtful professor of philosophy and psychology whose everyday life is peppered with Nietzschean quotes and deep discussions on identity and morality, even naming his cat's ego an ID, whimsically mirroring his introspective nature. Despite the premise of a hitman movie where real hitmen are non-existent, the stakes initially seem modest. However, the introduction of a dual identity narrative involving Gary/Ron and Madison injects a classical Hollywood comedy dynamic into the storyline, reminiscent of the witty scripts penned by Preston Sturges in the 1940s. This narrative twist propels Hitman into a more dynamic second half, departing from Linklater's typically laid-back approach to embrace a more structured, plot-driven trajectory that leans towards commercial appeal. It's easy to envision this shift evoking the spirited, screwball energy found in Jonathan Demme's eclectic 1980s comedies like Something Wild and Married to the Mob. Hi movie buffs, don't forget to hit the subscribe, like, share, and bell button. It's free and it really helps. You'll be notified of each new recap. Yet, Hitman retains its distinct narrative voice. Powell and Audrey Arjona, who portrays Madison, ignite the screen with their magnetic chemistry, portraying characters whose burgeoning romance intertwines with escalating levels of compromise, peril, and deceit, effectively sidestepping the clichés of traditional crime dramas that the film subtly parodies. The narrative crescendo arrives in a climactic rom-com moment that elicited enthusiastic applause even from a typically reserved audience of London critics. This meticulously crafted scene operates on multiple levels simultaneously. The sharp, engaging dialogue mirrors the fiery undercurrents of the characters' emotions, while the charged glances and gestures between Powell and Arjona crackle with palpable chemistry. In this pivotal scene, Hitman adeptly operates on dual cinematic planes, mirroring Gary's own evolution into dual personas. While this standout scene compensates for some narrative shortcomings elsewhere in the script, particularly in the underwritten characterization of Madison and occasional glossing over of moral complexities, it also hints at a darker undercurrent. A surprising plot twist late in the film suggests a more ominous turn, hinting at deeper moral dilemmas and ethical ambiguities that the film touches upon but ultimately sidesteps, opting instead for a lighter resolution. Powell and Linklater deftly navigate Hitman through various potential tonal shifts, playfully gesturing towards alternative cinematic possibilities while ultimately steering the narrative towards a sunnier conclusion. Just as Gary seamlessly transitions into his suave alter ego Ron, the filmmakers deftly navigate through potential narrative arcs, ultimately settling on a path that balances wit, romance, and a subtle bite. Hitman emerges as a standout romantic comedy with a tantalizing edge, anchored by its compelling characters and that one flawless scene that encapsulates its charm and complexity. It's a film that invites contemplation on identity and the allure of reinvention while delivering an engaging narrative that melds the thrill of connection with the intrigue of danger, a testament to Linklater's ability to craft stories that resonate on multiple levels and linger in the mind long after the credits roll. Thank you for watching. Until next time, stay safe.